The Hindu roots of Daniel's image dream. Hey, everybody, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Glad to have you with us here today. You know, we come to you from an undisclosed location in the heartland of America, straight to your heart, helping you guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, and be your own guru. The whole idea is to help you unindoctrinate yourself. And today, very interesting message from the Hindu world and from, as I'm fighting off his sneeze, the book of Daniel. This idea, the kernel of this idea dropped into my brain, actually into my email box by Tracy Dyer. So let's go ahead and hit this thing hard. Let's talk about, ladies and gentlemen, the Hindu roots of Daniel's vision. Now, a lot of you have been in church. A lot of you have been, around Christians. And Daniel's vision is kind of something that even transcends Christianity, because it's one of those things that's it's an end time thing. It's a, last days thing. And it's one of those things that BS swirls around, and there's plenty of BS, we know. And we're going to deal with this section of BS today, folks. And we're going to talk about this image. And I'm just going to give you the highlights of this image, because what we're really interested in are the metals that are therein. And we're going to show you why we're interested in that. Okay, so king had a dream. All the king's soothsayers and counselors could not say, or could not tell what the dream was. And they said, hey, there's this Hebrew kid who can tell you what it is. That was Daniel. And Daniel says, okay, here's the dream. So Daniel sees this great big statue, right? And he says, it's a head of gold. And then underneath that, there is a kingdom. Where is all this? Let's see. It looks like it's out of order. Here we go. Here it is. Here's the image. The image was of fine gold, the head, fine gold, the breast and arms, silver, belly and thighs, brass, and keep your mind on that word, brass, legs of iron, feet, part of iron and of clay, and then a stone cut without hands smotes the image on its feet and breaks them into pieces. The iron, the whole image comes crashing down. Lots of great stuff in this, lots of great stuff. But let's focus on the fact that he sees a great image whose head is made out of gold, whose arms are made out of silver and breasts, belly out of brass, and we'll say brass for now. It's really not brass in the Hebrew. Legs of iron, feet of iron, and of clay. Why is that interesting? And why is that important? Well, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I want to show you something here real quickly. And I think I can just... Can I just hide that? Yes, I can. All right. So take a look at this, folks. Take a look at this, folks. This should really make you wonder, and this really brings clarity to what's going on. Here is, folks, the Hindu teaching, and this is very, very simplified. The Hindu tradition speaks of certain ages of humanity. These are the Krita Yuga, which is the golden age. Does that remind you of anything? When people used to be spiritual and people were innocent. Then came the Treta Yuga, or the Silver Age. Does that seem interesting to anybody? When knowledge begins to lose light. Then the Dwapara Yuga, the Bronze Age, when wars start. Finally, the Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, when humans who are made of clay need interior transformation due to distancing themselves from the light and developing negative habits. So you can see the tie-in between the Hindu, which predates Daniel in time, and Daniel. If I was going to be nice, I would say Daniel borrowed liberally from the Hindu tradition, but the reality is Daniel plagiarized it, stole it. How did Daniel learn this Hindu knowledge? I don't know, but it was Hindu knowledge that Daniel laid on that king, which got Daniel lifted up to the places of favor where he was. So all the Daniel in the lion's den, all of the Daniel being the great magician. Well, Daniel probably was a great magician, and Daniel learned at least some of his stuff from the Hindu tradition, which to me is fascinating. And it's important because it really does show the truth of what this is talking about. When you look at Daniel and you read this part of Daniel, and you also think about Daniel saying that there was going to be a being come that would try to take over the world, and he correctly identified it in my eyes as AI. And I believe Daniel painted this statue as the platform of AI, and I'll show you what that means. And really, it shows you the pro and the con, the above and the below. We were, as people, at a golden age. And even when we are people individually, we are born, we're in a golden age. We're spiritual, we're innocent, our childhood. Why do you think the message in the anointing says, unless you become as a little child, you won't understand the kingdom of God, unless you become spiritual and innocent, unless you go back to your golden age, ladies and gentlemen. Humanity had a golden age. We have a golden age. We're spiritual. We're innocent. We're golden. And then comes the silver age, and we begin to get indoctrinated, and we begin to learn the ways of this world, and we begin to have the magic removed from our lives, and we begin to lose the light, and we go from being golden to being silver. And then because of the death of our spiritual innocence, because of the loss of light, we turn into bronze. And in the Hebrew text, which I'll show you, it's actually copper. And that's important when I get to tying it into AI and our ultimate victory over AI. We get into copper. And that's when wars start. And then Kali Yuga, Iron Age, where humans need interior transformation to distance themselves from the light and developing negative habits. As a culture, as a race, I would say that we got to be probably in Kali Yuga, right? And we're trying to get ourselves to copper or bronze. We're trying to get ourselves to silver. We're trying to get ourselves to golden, but we've been there before. So it's an easy transition back once we decide to make it easy, being designed as something that you can do. That's my definition of easy. It's of something you can do. Now, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go for a minute back to Daniel's image, and let's think about it in terms of Daniel talking about that image and talking about the coming of Antichrist and talking about, and I use that word very thoughtfully, and coming of AI. And I actually taught this, believe it or not, on Coast to Coast one night. And it's pretty amazing stuff. And George was impressed, and I think a lot of the people were too. So here's an interesting thing, folks, that we have to look at. And where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Talking about the image being AI. Talking about the image being the attempted takeover of artificial intelligence, the attempted takeover of our lives by transhumanist forces, the attempted takeover of our lives by fiat currency systems, the attempted takeover of our lives by anything and everything that is artificially intelligent based, including our religion. So check this out, folks. Check this out. The gold, the image of the head of the image was gold, right? The head of the image was gold. If you know anything about the central processors that are computers, and the internet is computers, if you know anything about the central computers that drive the internet, they're full of gold, literal gold. They are full of gold. A lot of the components are gold. A lot of the pieces are gold. The central CPUs, I guess would be the right word. The central computers that drive the internet are gold, ladies and gentlemen. And then as you get out to the networking devices, the routers and things and stuff like that, there's lots and lots of silver. that drives those routers and those networking devices. Your central hubs are gold. Your networking devices are silver. And then as it goes out to being delivered to us, through the actual connectivity, this says brass. But let me show you what that word in verse 32 is. It's not actually brass, ladies and gentlemen. It is, see that it says bronze? Look at what the word really is. Copper. If you know anything about the internet, the vast majority of you right now are receiving your internet either exclusively or probably 3/4 of the trip over copper. Yes, fiber optics are coming in, but most of the places that are fiber optic have copper to the curb, fiber optic to the house, or copper to the node that is in the neighborhood, and then fiber from the node into the neighborhood, or copper to the, this is very comparatively rare, copper to the, I forget what they call it. It's been a while since I've been in the business, to the, you got the curb, you got the node in the neighborhood, the place in the city where it comes in, or that portion of the city, and then fiber from there. But usually you're looking at copper to your curb, fiber to your house, or copper to the node in your neighborhood and fiber to your house. So bottom line, you're getting your internet over copper, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting your internet over copper. How about that? You're getting your internet over copper. So you can see the gold, ladies and gentlemen. Where is it? The gold, I lost it. You saw a great image. The gold, the head is the hubs, the CPUs. They're full of gold. The arms and silver, the routing devices, they're full of silver. The routers. The networking that actually connects it to us is copper. This says the belly and thighs are of copper. And then the end users, us, we're of iron and we're of clay. We're of the earth. We're a mixture of clay. We're a mixture of iron. It's people, ladies and gentlemen. It's people. So if you look at this from the Hebrew, Daniel, Bible, and this is probably some diamond, it shows that even though this shows AI, oh my God, AI is going to take over. Well, no, it doesn't show AI is going to take over, because then a stone was cut without hands, and it smote that image upon the feet, and it broke them into pieces. And of course, when the feet are cut out from under it, the whole system collapses. That system that's trying to destroy us collapses. Now, there's a lot of people on the internet today that want to try to tell you financial collapse is coming. They're wrong. And I'm going to have experts on the show over the next few weeks to prove that to you. And if you have any spiritual awareness and any manifestation about you, there's not going to be financial collapse. There's not going to be the collapse of the United States of America. That's a damn lie. We've been here a while, cousins, and we're not going anyplace. There's not going to be societal collapse. There's not going to be societal chaos. It's not coming. Things are getting better. They're not getting worse. They may be headed for tribulation, but we're headed for jubilation. They may be headed for crashes. We're headed for takeoffs. They may be headed for things collapsing. We're building and going and growing, cousins. We are the abundance, as Deborah L. Smith, Breaking Dawn, says. But there's more to it, because guess who is the stone that was cut without hands? We are made without any intervention of humanity. No clergy, no politician, no teacher, nothing. We are made without hands, without any human manufacture. And we are smiting this image, this AI, this transhumanism, this AI religion, this AI financial system, this AI governmental system, this AI religious system. We are smashing it in its very feet. We are even today breaking it to pieces. I did some smashing yesterday. Maybe you were there. And if you listen, you can hear timber It's coming down. It's going to be wrecked. Not only is it going to be wrecked, it's going to be ground to powder. The air is going to blow it away. There's not going to be any place left for it. I'm reading from Daniel. And then that stone that smote the image, that's us. We become a great mountain, filling the whole earth, meaning divine, sovereign, free cousins. Take over this world and restore it back to, ladies and gentlemen, its place of beauty, its place of power, its place of glory. And if we work the Hindu portion of it right now, yeah, it seems like the iron and clay are in charge, right? And we have to get ourselves from an iron and clay mentality back into that copper mentality. And then we got to get ourselves from a copper mentality back to that silver mentality. Then we got to get it from the silver mentality back to the gold mentality. And then that is the stone cut without hands. We remake ourselves. We take our negative habits that we have right now. We get rid of them through doing the internal work. And we start going back towards the light. And I'm not talking about after you die light. I'm talking about the light, the hope. And we start this transformation back to the place, folks, of the iron. And we have to, there's a war there. There can be negative wars, wars of men, wars of tanks and things like that. But there's also spiritual wars. And we're going to have to, in dropping our negative habits and getting ourselves back to the light, our interior transformation from iron back to copper or bronze is going to take war. It's going to take battle. Battle within. Battling the 2,000 years of indoctrination, battling the dumbasses on YouTube that for some reason you won't stop watching, battling the liars, battling the thieves, battling the deceivers, battling the people that want to keep you locked and bound. And then once you get up into that Bronze Age, you fought your way there. Then you begin to seek more light and more knowledge. And Daniel said that Da'ath is expanding into our realm. That means knowledge, divine knowledge, the flow, the consecration, the anointing is coming into our presence now. And that's what this AI was created to stop, but it can't stop it. And as we begin to approach that again, we begin to incorporate that light, that da'ath, that knowledge, and we get our silver knowledge back. And then we get back into the innocence. We get back into the spirituality. We love ourselves. We love our neighbors as ourselves with peace that passes all understanding. Then we live the life and the life more abundant in the golden age, the Krita Yuga. We're back where we started from, cousins. And don't give me your biblical interpretations of the statue because they're stupid and they're wrong. And it hasn't worked for you for 2,000 years. The definition of crazy is following shit that don't work and hoping it'll work this time. Get rid of your stupid biblical garbage and grab on to some of this knowledge that we're showing you, except I'm not showing it to you. Grab on to some of this knowledge we're showing you. That Daniel wrote that. You think Daniel didn't know about this? He knew about this. Daniel was writing about this when he wrote about that. And you're too damn stupid to figure it out because some idiot on the internet tells you, oh no, Daniel's the prophet of God. Well, if Daniel was the prophet of God, this is where he got it from, cousins. You can stay in your negative habits. You can stay distanced from the light if you want. You can stay in your iron age. Or you can drop your negative habits and quit watching your negative people. It's no secret that it's negative. If you're watching anything that's negative, it's not positive. And it's not gospel. It's gospel's good news. You got to stop watching negative. You got to stop talking negative. You got to stop living negative. You got to stop being negative. And then you'll start coming to the light. And if you can continue to be positive or at least not negative, and that's a difference. Start off just being not negative. If you can be not negative, you'll start reapproaching the light. And you'll start transforming yourselves because you'll be doing interior work by being not negative. And then you'll find yourself back up into, folks, this war, this fighting. This is a war. Doing all this is a war. And then you'll find yourself back in copper or in bronze. You'll start getting a little purity about you. Then you'll seek more light and more knowledge. And then you'll get back some silver, even more purity. These things are becoming less dense, by the way. And then you'll become up into your innocence, your spirituality. You'll get back to your golden age, folks. You can't do it doing what you're doing. It's never worked for 2,000 years. The definition of crazy is to keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting something different to happen. It's not going to happen until you start doing something different. Forget the Bible explanations. They're wrong. They're intended to keep you locked in this matrix forever and ever and ever. These are the understandings that will set you free. Daniel knew it. He wrote and he tried to show you, cousins, use this wisdom that I found in the Hindu tradition. It'll help you defeat any of these things that are set up to defeat you, because they try to fake who you are. They're trying to fake who you are with their iron. They're trying to fake who you are with their bronze, their copper. They're trying to fake who you are with their silver. They're trying to fake who you are with their gold. They can't do it. There's nothing else like us anywhere. That's why all these ships are around us in orbit, ladies and gentlemen. Know this, cousins. We are in a world that looks like we're going to be defeated. We are in a world where things don't look good. It looks like we're going down. It looks like the transhumanists are going to win. It looks like we're going to be the last generation of real humans. And we are, but you know why we're going to be the last generations of real humans? Because we're going to win and we're going to move on to something else better. So you thought last generation of real humans was a negative statement. No, it's a positive statement. It's not because we're going to be taken over. It's because we're going to be taken off. Boom. We're the last generation of real humans, not because we're going to be taken over, but because we're going to be taken off, cousins. History is written by the winners. We can win today, write a better tomorrow. We are the last generation of real humans. We are the gospel truth army. We can win. We will win if we'll just get busy.